Who was it that got crucified upside down?
Peter.
Why? Was it because like regular crucifixion wasn't good enough for him, or what was he? What didn't deserve it because Christ had gone through it?
Well, so the story is that they say, we're going to crucify you, and he says, it's like too big of an honor to die like my Lord, and they say, well, we can fix that.
Oh, Jesus. Shut your mouth, buddy.
Listen, the Romans were pretty brutal.
Oh, yeah.
But this is why we know, like it's interesting. We know a lot about crucifixion, but crucifixion was seen as so disgusting. I believe it was Cicero who said that like the word crucifixion shouldn't even be on a Roman man's lips. Wow. I mean, the word excruciating,
right.
X is off of in Latin, and crus, off the cross.
Oh,
so that's where we get that word, is because this was designed to humiliate, and it was designed to be as painful as possible. There was actually a really good article done by JAMA, the Journal of the American Medical Association, which was done by a number of, I think it was in the 70s or the early 80s. It was done by a group of biblical scholars and then medical professionals. And so they looked at the conventions of what we do know about Roman crucifixion, and then they looked at the descriptions in the gospel to try to figure out, okay, if we could diagnose how Jesus died, how would he have died? And so they basically came up with this idea that he probably asphyxiated to death. You kind of drown in your own blood. But the chances of Jesus surviving the crucifixion, I think, are narrow to none. And the chance of him appearing 3 days later completely fine. I mean, if the first thing you do, if you survive a crucifixion and then you go and you find your disciples, the first thing you say is not, peace be with you. It's get me to a hospital.
Many often forget that by the time Jesus reached the cross for crucifixion, that he was flogged and scourged by the Roman soldiers. A scourging whip consisted of 18 to 24-inch long straps of leather protruding from it, equipped with sharp, rugged pieces of metal, wire, glass, and jagged fragments of bone. Historical records describe a victim's back as being so mutilated after a Roman scourging that his spine would actually be exposed. Others recorded how the bowels of a victim would actually spill out through the open wounds created by the whip. The early church historian Eusebius wrote, the veins were laid bare, and the very muscles, sinews, and bowels of the victim were opened to exposure. On top of this, we have the Roman soldiers putting the crown of thorns on Jesus' head and beating his head with rods, pressing the crown of thorns deeper into his skull. And all of this came before the crucifixion. You cannot say that Jesus did not die. He died and he rose again on the third day. Put your faith and your trust in Jesus.